Oh hey, it's Wes. Welcome back to the new studio. Still needs a little sound treatment. Still testing out a new microphone. I don't know if the sound's good or not. We're about to find out. Still a work in progress, but no reason to stop what we're doing. Well, I did stop what we were doing for quite a while there. Sorry about that. Let's get back into it, and today we are looking at, I guess I should have brought this with me, the Aputure Fresnel 2x. Well, that's something new and different. First of all, even though I haven't shown it to you yet, it comes in this very nice carry case. I wish everything I bought came in a carry case this nice. It's got a handle and a... Anyway, that doesn't matter that much. Why doesn't it matter that much? Because it's actually pretty rugged. What is it anyway? Well, if you know what Fresnel means, some people who are more anglicized than I am, coming from a bilingual province, would call this a Fresnel. That's not how it's pronounced. So it's a lensing device that you put on top of an LED light. I'm sure Aputure is thinking about a 120D or one of their lights. I don't have any Aputure lights. Well, no big ones. So I'm going to be slapping this onto a Golden Eagle LED 2000. I have also tried it quite a bit on my Godox FV150, which is right here. Use it as my main light because the color is just splendid. So on the inside here, if you look real close, there is an initial lens that focuses the beam on the carved lens. And how it's carved is a bunch of prisms that allows you to focus the light. You can focus it anywhere from 12 degrees all the way out to 40 degrees. And that's just by turning the control ring on the outside. Very simple, straightforward operation. And it just snaps onto any old Bowens mount. Now you might think, oh, that'd be nifty to slap that onto, say, an 8600 or something, but no, you cannot do that. This is specifically designed for an LED light. There is not much room inside here. You would have to have a very small bulb to fit it in that. What it's expecting is the flat end of an LED light. So let's put that back on there. So what's this for? Well, obviously, to focus your light in a particular way. So let's have a look at how that works. We'll turn our light on here. And obviously we're going to need more light to be able to see what we're doing. And here is a focused spot of light. So we are at the widest, 40 degrees right now. And then as we narrow it in, this is what we get at the 12 degree mark. Honestly, there's not a huge difference. Now if you look at the light that we're creating here, it is very even, with a very smooth fall off. I don't want to say expecting, but at least hoping that it would be more of a spotlight in nature. But this is definitely not a spotlight. It creates a nice soft light. Now that has its ups and downs. There are many situations in which you do not want a spotlight, where it would just be a lot more impractical to have those hard edges. So that is what it is. Now, generally speaking, when you're trying to narrow a light coming out of one of these, you would actually use one of these plain Jane, super cheap reflectors and a grid. So let's see how that compares. So we're at 40 degrees now. Let's take this off. Whew, that's bright. And I'm going to put on a 50 degree reflector here. Yeah, it was much more focused with the Fresnel. Now I know our degrees aren't exactly the same, but this is losing light all over the place. So let's try to focus this down a lot more. I'm going to slap in the 30 degree grid. It's still more diffuse. Let's go all the way down to our 10 degree grid. Now we're talking. That's very focused down. But because of the nature of the grid and all the black that it's reflecting off of, we end up losing quite a bit of light here. Now, I'm sure we're losing light through the Fresnel. It's a lot of glass that it's passing through, but although we focused this quite a bit with the 10 degree grid, we've also lost quite a bit of our light. So let's compare this 10 degrees to our 12 degrees with the Fresnel. We'll zoom that right in here. There. So we are a little bit looser with the Fresnel, but it's a lot brighter. We have lost very little light compared to the other one. And there seems to be a little bit more of a smooth fall off. I have noticed also with using the honeycombs, depending on the angle you're coming at, you can get some weird patterns and shifts of light. This is, again, very, very even. Now, in the front of our Fresnel structure, there is actually a space carved out here to allow you to insert gels and grids and so forth. But unfortunately, the honeycombs that I have don't fit in it, which maybe Aputure makes their own and they want you to use those, or maybe there are some different sizes, but I can't get mine to fit in this. So if you are planning on putting the grids in, just remember they may or may not be a standard size. So let's see what happens now. Turn it up a bit, and if we put the grid in, it doesn't really alter the spread of your light that much, even though, yeah, it narrows it down some. I will give you that. But mostly what it does is it reduces the amount of light you have. And honestly, that's kind of undesirable. So it narrows it a bit and you lose a lot of light. So honestly, putting grids in this, and that was using the narrowest 10-degree grid, not highly effective. Another accessory that Aputure does sell is the barn doors. Now I didn't get my hands on those, so let's pretend for a second. Let's just very briefly produce a barn as we go in from the sides. Yeah. So the barn door effect on this is not super useful. Why is that? Well, generally barn doors are used for two things. Number one, you can control light spillage. This light doesn't spill a lot of light. As I said before, it doesn't escape as much as it does with a regular grid. So that's not that excitingly useful. If you want to control all the spillage 100%, sure, you can do that. Number two thing you can use barn doors for, and this is only effective with highly focused light, is actually create effects in the beam, cut off the edges. This light, unfortunately, unlike a spotlight, isn't focused enough to be able to do that with barn doors. So when you put barn doors over the edges, it just lowers your amount of light. It's not focused enough to create that sort of effect. The barn doors, only for spillage. You can't create barn door effects with it. Included in the box with this, I don't know if they're all included, or if they're always included. Per Gear included a bunch of color modifiers. What I was expecting was gels, but these are basically shower caps. There. So if you put these on top of the light, and they fit very tight, they alter the color. Ugh. Now the yellow didn't do an awful lot. It kind of just gave me a bit of a CTO effect. Let's try the green here. It's still just a little bit green. So these aren't like high-end accent colors. And honestly, maybe that's for the best. So we just go a little bit bluer. Let's try the red here. And we go a little redder. Cuts down on the light quite a bit too. You might want to use it for diffusion, because they do include a white one as well. But at that point, what's the point of using the Fresnel lens if you're just going to diffuse it after firing it out the nose? And really, as I said before, the light's pretty smooth coming out of it anyway, so I don't know. They're kind of like CTO gels. They're not accent colors. They just like modify things just a little bit. Why you would modify it in a green direction, I don't know. That is the Aputure 2x Fresnel light modifier. Whew. One thing I would like to note, ow. Although there are vents all around this, vents on the inside, your light gets very hot when this is on it. The metal on the inside of this you can't touch it when you pull it off. This light was not at 100%, and this thing, you could have roasted an egg on the center element of this. So I would not leave this on your light all the time. I would be afraid of it starting something. Who is this for? Honestly, if this is for you, you probably already know if it's for you. This is a modifier that you can put on your light. You don't need to swap things out. You don't need to use honeycombs that only have certain steps. You have a smooth alteration of levels, and it gives you a little bit more control. What I would have liked to see is even more control. A tighter beam, more of a spot. That might be a different product than this though. I don't know. But wait, there is more that you can do with this. You might have already seen some demo images at the beginning of this video. They didn't come from a light like this. Let's put this away. On this light stand, I have the Godox S2 bracket. And on this light, I have the Godox round head. Now we're talking. So if I stick this light through, now you want to be careful to push your light through at about the same distance that the COB element of your continuous LED will be, because this is a light focusing device. As you know, as a photographer, if your lens element or a part of your lens is the wrong place, it's not going to focus right. And there, now we have something entirely different. So previously with our LED light, we had kind of a limited amount of power, a limited amount of usability. Now I can turn this on and fire the LED light out of it. The only way in which that is useful is for focusing. So if I aim this at the wall now, if it was a little darker in here, it would help. Now I can actually see where this light is pointing. So when I was taking pictures of myself out in the dark by myself, I would just turn on the modeling lamp in this, which isn't very bright, and then walk over until I could see that the light was shining in my face. Very easy. I mean, I could already see where the light was going, so I knew where to walk. So that lets you know where this is aimed, and then you can fire this off and focus your flash. I like this a lot more than the use case of video. Maybe it's because I'm primarily a photographer and not a videographer, but I enjoyed that quite a bit. But again, I would have preferred that this be more of a spot. There are other devices that you can get that will spot this for you. Are they comparable in price? Let's find out. Let's throw up some prices here. So yeah, this is a decent value. It's a solid, rugged product. But is it for everyone? Absolutely not. This is a very specific use case. To be honest, makes me more excited about the next version that's going to come out. Maybe there's going to be a Fresnel ×4, ×5. Will that be too big, too heavy? Who knows? But I would love to see that, maybe with some sharper edges so that we can do some barn door effects and such. Let me know what you think about this. Is this thing way out in left field, not terribly useful? Or is this another cool product from a company that is known for making pretty solid, good value lighting devices? Full disclosure, this was sent to me not by Aputure, but by Gear, I think. And so they wanted me to test this out. If you click a link in the description, it will help support me, my channel, and feed my family. If you have any suggestions for future videos, and any more thoughts about this guy, ow, it is still hot on the inside. Let me know down in the comments. But until next time, go take some photos.